Hello and welcome to ScriptNuggets episode 5. I am Michael Burrows,
I'm Liam O'Toole.
and today we have another prompt from the one, the only, AJ Lease.
AJ Lease. We'll see what
Man,
he's
the
got
myth
for
legend.
us.
He's given us some interesting stuff so far. He gave us episode 1, which was about the Red Lobster, or not Red Lobster, it was Red Robin, but he's
Blue
getting
Robin.
a lob. Yeah,
Blue Robin.
he's getting it.
Not affiliated in any way
Fair
with Red
use, Liam.
Robin.
He gave us that one. He also gave us the one about Sneakertopia. So
that
definitely,
was interesting.
it's an interesting imagination this man has. So I'm very curious to see what we're getting today.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Let's crack it open and see what we get, shall we? Okay. I'm gonna quote this exactly. When Moneybank Lease went to the carnivore land at Dalt Disney World in June of 2006, he wanted a soft pretzel, something kind of bad. He also wanted to get cheese with that pretzel, naturally. So he went and purchased that soft pretzel and asked for dat cheese. However, he was charged extra for the cheese. He was so confused that he went to guest services and asked the representatives, "Why should I have to pay for the cheese? Does the cheese stand alone?" What follows this incident is up to the ScriptNuggets team to write an 8 to 10 minute musical.
What?
Well, okay.
Hang on
We
a minute.
unfortunately do not have the equipment we need right now to do a musical episode. So we're going to do this as a standard script.
I don't know. Do we have that authority, though? Because if we get a prompt, we kind of have to follow through on it.
Shoot. Oh, no.
Oh, crap.
I feel like
It would be awful if it was a musical. It would be just us singing a cappella.
I'm not
horribly.
dragging my piano in here. I'm not going to do that.
No, it would sing a cappella. Someone would do the
Oh, no,
beatboxing,
Liam,
and the other person would.
Liam, look. Neither of us are singers, Liam.
That's very true.
That would end very poorly. I'm gonna
you don't
suggest
want to
we
hear us
utilize
sing.
our executive authority here and strike the part about it being a musical.
Yeah, I guess we should veto that part.
I think I've said this before, but we do in the future want to consider doing musical episodes, but we don't have the resources for that at the moment because we need I need to find a way to get my piano in here and plug it into this whole system. 2, we need to find someone who can actually
Sing.
So you see the problem. So we're gonna wait on that, and we're just gonna go ahead with this prompt. So
He has given us this prompt. At least he's given me this prompt before.
yeah, he's told me this story before. I didn't know that this is what we were getting today. So it's not like we prepared this ahead of time, but we've heard the story before. This is based on a true story. Apparently, he went to Disney World. He ordered a pretzel, and he wanted cheese with it, and they charged him extra. So he was like, "Does the cheese stand alone?" And I think in real life, the answer was no, it doesn't. They gave him a refund for the cheese, which is a great story. But we don't have to go that direction because it leaves it open-ended in this prompt.
Yeah, what results from the cheese is ambiguous.
Yeah.
We can decide.
I think I see where this needs to go. What if this goes to the Supreme Court?
Ooh.
Do you see what I mean? Like, what if this works its way up and it becomes like a big landmark legal battle for the United States?
Lease versus Disney World.
It's Dalt Disney World.
Dalt Disney. Oh, okay.
I'm a fan of Fault Disney myself, but Dalt Disney's a good butcher.
Dalt Disney is the
That's pretty good.
perfect subversion.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's start with the basics. Who is our main character?
Okay, we're not going to just try and make him a carbon copy of Mr. Lease.
No. We have to.
He's just there's no relation at all. He's just a guy named Lease.
Yeah, he's named Moneybank Lease. That's how it's
Moneybank
described in
Lease,
the
okay.
yeah.
So he's got some dough.
Is he wealthy? Is he a wealthy man?
That seems to be the case based on his first name.
Okay.
If he is wealthy though, why would he care about the refund? He wouldn't. He probably wouldn't
he's
care.
stingy, maybe. I mean,
Oh,
it's like-
okay. So maybe that's how he got wealthy.
Sure. Now, here's my question. He's at, quote, carnivore land at Dalt Disney World. Why is he getting a wheat waste product at Carnivore Land. Do you see what I mean? It's like, that's weird. That's funky, man. I feel like there's a story there.
Probably.
What is that story? Hard to say.
I'm just trying to figure out how that becomes.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that Carnivore Land. That's like.
See, I haven't actually been to Disney World. So.
Liam, let me tell you, there's not a Carnivore Land. That's not there.
Oh, okay. But this is Disney World. This is Wisney World.
It's yeah. This is different. This is not the same place. So
it's completely different.
So let's ask ourselves these important questions. What does one do at Carnivore Land? Like, what are the attractions? What's the pull, man? What are you doing there?
Carnivores eat meat. I would imagine there's a lot of great meat to eat there.
That's a reasonable assessment. Are there any like rides? Are there any like roller coasters there, or is it just like get some food in the face and bada bing, bada boom, you know?
I feel like there's both rides, attractions, and food, you know? Like maybe
there's like a ride. It's not like a thrill ride, but it brings you through the process of animals that are raised to become meat.
Oh, it brings you through a slaughterhouse. You know, like one of those. It's like one of those mine cart rides.
Peter would love that. Oh man.
You just kind of drift by and you see all this imagery.
Right. It's like
slaughtered.
It's like that ride that plays It's a Small World, except with a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
That's their main attraction, I feel. Oh my gosh. That's really funny. Okay. So now we understand what Carnivore Land is.
Wait a minute. I just put something together. See, maybe after going through the slaughterhouse, he decides, I don't want to eat any meat. Okay. He's like, wow, that was horrible.
Sure.
So I'm just going to get a pretzel.
Okay. Now, but why do they sell pretzels in Carnivore Land? Because I mean, you could say like, oh, that's their vegetarian option or what have you. It's not vegan because they have cheese, right? But
yeah. Begs the question why there would be a vegetarian option in Carnivore Land.
It doesn't seem like the kind of place that would just give you a vegetarian option. So it's like, what is it doing there? Do you know what I mean? So
does it specify that it happens in Carnivore Land, or he gets it after he goes to Carnivore Land?
It says he went to Carnivore Land. He wanted a soft pretzel. He also wanted cheese, so he purchased the pretzel and the cheese, but he was charged extra. So
it seems to take place at Carnivore Land.
The whole story seems to be in Carnivore Land.
Maybe it's a meat pretzel.
Liam, look. Wait, what if it's a sausage-like pretzel?
A sausage-like pretzel?
I don't know, man.
A pretzel made out of sausage?
Sure, man. What other kind of meat are you going to make a pretzel out of?
It's not really a pretzel, then, though.
What else are you going to make a meat pretzel out of, Liam? I'm curious. Oh, maybe there's, like, bacon.
A bacon
like
pretzel.
Bacon bits in the pretzel. That would be, like, a very, like, standard thing. Because just because it's Carnivore Land doesn't mean that everything there is entirely meat. You could probably buy, like, a meat sandwich, right? So what if it's, like, a bacon pretzel, or it's got, like, maybe it's bacon wrapped? Even
so, it's wrapped in bacon.
Could be. I think that's reasonable. Sure, I think that's fair. And he wants cheese with it. Okay, and that's a fair thing to have on the side too. So,
yeah.
So he purchases it. Okay. Guest services he goes to. Is guest services part of Carnivore Land, or is it the general Disney Wisney World customer service desk?
I feel like there isn't a separate customer service for each land in Wisney.
You know, there might be though, because if you have a problem, like, have you been to Disney? Like the parks?
Well, no, I haven't.
The parks are spread out, so like, if you're in, you know, whatever park, and you have a problem, you're not gonna be able to go to some other park to get customer service. Like they're spread out, so they probably do have reps in every park. If we're to use, I mean, we don't have to use Disney World as a model, because maybe Walt Disney World is like some tiny, like, do you know what I mean? Like it may not be of the same scale, but you know, given that the story did take place, the story this is based on took place in Disney World, I feel like it's reasonable to base it off that. So let's say it's the service desk in Carnivore Land.
Okay, but how about he goes initially to the service desk in Carnivore Land?
Right.
They don't help.
They
him.
can't help.
They're
So
unhelpful.
they send it up.
It's
the
horrible
chain,
customer
right?
service. So they send him up to. So he goes to the central customer service.
Right.
Do they have one of those?
Probably. Yeah, probably. They have like
Yeah.
a more corporate customer service, probably in their main area. Like they probably have offices and stuff. So they send him there, but then this escalates, dude. This is going like, so he goes to Carnivore Land service. They can't help him. They send him to like General Park Services. They can't help him. So they send him to corporate, dude. They send him to Wisney Incorporated. They can't help
in
him.
Hollywood.
They take him to court.
No, not Hollywood. Wallyhood. Wherever.
Liam, it's a location.
Wherever
it's Hollywood. I don't know. I don't think they're located in Hollywood.
I have no idea.
We can look
They're
that up.
probably located
very
somewhere
easily.
in California. That's where all bad things are located.
Burbank, yeah.
Burbank.
Yep.
Where's that? Is that
makes
near
sense.
Hollywood?
That's in California. It's
I have no idea about the geography of California.
yeah, it's a little funky. I don't think it's close actually. It's like a little ways out, but it's
15 kilometers maybe.
close. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that into Google Maps. I can't be bothered. But it's close. So it's close to LA.
I guess that's maybe unimportant though.
Yeah,
Well,
that's where
maybe
corporate is, right? So
okay, so but it is important in the sense he has to travel across the country from. Are we assuming Disney World is in Florida?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, so that happens. So then he goes to corporate. I think corporate takes him to court over it.
Yeah, and they're pretty powerful.
I think
Disney World I think is pretty powerful.
I think what's his name? Moneybank Lease, or is it Bank Money? Moneybank. Okay, is it Moneybank Lease?
Is that as a nickname or is that?
That's what's given in the prompt. It's just Moneybank Lease.
So we're assuming that's his birth name.
I guess so. I mean, what else? So I think he becomes an icon. I think he becomes like he starts a movement.
A freedom fighter.
Like, yeah, he is a freedom fighter. He is fighting for the freedom of cheeses everywhere to be put on pretzels at no additional cost, which is I'd say, that's a very worthwhile cause. So he starts a big movement. I think then eventually it gets up to like the Supreme Court. And does he win? Does the cheese stand alone? Let's talk about this.
That is the central
does the
question.
cheese stand alone? Here's the thing. Cheese is a separate product, right? It's a separate thing. It's a separate food. But on the other hand, you could argue that it's part of cost of operation. It's the same kind of thing how, burger places have ketchup everywhere you can just take, right? So this is the question is like, is cheese cost of operation or is cheese, part of your menu? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of a gray area because cheese is, a sort of a separate thing, but it also can be considered a condiment similar to ketchup or mustard or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not quite clear.
Yeah. Now this is some low quality cheese probably because this is at Disney World. So
it's not brie or whatever.
So for my money, this cheese is not good enough to be sold separately. This is some like low quality garbage can cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe good enough that you want to put it on your bacon pretzel still. However, certainly not you would pay some cash money for it. It doesn't specify how much he has to pay. Is worth noting.
I would assume that it's not an insignificant number.
No, and so
parks, they tend to use highway robbery to get you to pay more. Like the pretzel, that's really worth like $3 or $5, costs maybe $10. And the cheese, which is worth maybe 75 cents.
Yeah. Less than that, I bet. Less than that.
Costs like $4.
Yeah, right. I try to remember. I think at one point when he told me this story, he gave me the amount it was. I feel like the pretzel was probably somewhere between like $5 and $8, and the cheese was like, I think maybe a couple bucks or something like that.
Huh.
Which is like, that's some money though, dude. Like, you're not gonna pay $2 for the little thing of cheese. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's that about?
It's not that much cheese, and it's not that
No,
high quality.
and it's not that
either.
good. So it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's your
I
damage?
probably just wouldn't get the cheese in the first
Right,
place. It's
right,
probably
right.
kind of disgusting.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. And that's my point. Now here's the question: do they show on the menu that it costs more with cheese?
I don't think they do. I think they just say
Okay.
add cheese or mustard or a few other condiments there.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like a price with the condiments. You're saying like it,
Yeah, it says
Okay.
like pretzels $5 or whatever.
whatever much. Yeah.
And
You okay, dude? All right.
after, and then it says pretzels with cheese at the bottom, and there's no price.
Right. Yeah.
Or maybe add pretzels $8, add cheese.
Yeah,
no
right.
price.
Ask for cheese or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So then they're wrong to charge them because they didn't show it on their menu. That's messed up, dude. You can't just do that. I think he wins. I think he wins the case.
The Supreme Court
I think so.
rules that the cheese
does not stand alone.
does not stand alone.
Right. Because if it stands alone, then the cost is justified, right? That's why he's asking. Like, does the
Yeah,
cheese
that's
stand
right.
alone? Like, why would it cost the extra? It would cost the extra money if it stands alone. Like, could you? Here's another part. Angle of the argument. Can you buy just the cheese? Pretzel negative, just cheese, just straight up. Can you buy that?
It seems like they would maybe give it to you, but it's not really.
I feel like they'd be
It's frowned upon.
disinclined. Yeah, right. Like
They
they'd
would
give
say,
it to you, but they'd give you a sour look. They'd be judging you.
They'd be
The
like,
entire
all
time.
right, go ahead.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I received a note.
Ooh, what does it say?
Huh. Fascinating. Here, what do you think of this, Liam?
Google the words to the farmer in the dell and read to the end. The cheese stands alone. The farmer in the dell, what's
It's
that?
an English nursery. It's a singing game. Yeah, it's like a nursery rhyme. Oh man. This better be good.
I'm going to play it. Oh wait, no.
No, don't play it, Liam.
Never mind. Just kind of.
Oh shoot. And the cheese stands alone.
What?
Oh no,
Is
it
that how it
says that
ends?
in the lyrics, dude. And the
Oh, I
cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. Hi ho the dairy-o. The cheese stands alone. Shoot.
Maybe the Chief Justice quotes that in the majority
feel like-
opinion.
I think that's an argument that's made, but I don't think it wins for a couple of reasons. One is that this is out of context, okay? Because this is about like, so there's a farmer, and then he takes a wife. That's okay, and some stuff about children and nurses and dogs and cats, and the mouse takes the cheese, but then the cheese stands alone at the end. So it's like it's a chain. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not about the same thing. Also, what's the source of the? Let's get the Wikipedia page open here for this guy.
I got it. It was first recorded in Germany.
Oh, Germany, yeah. So it doesn't
In
count, dude.
1826.
Like what? You can't count it, dude. It's German. You can't count it in a court of law in the United States Supreme Court.
So
Liam,
maybe someone makes that argument, but it gets struck
I
down.
think it gets thrown
because-
out. I think it absolutely does.
Because
But
they
I think-
say it was not mentioned in the Constitution. It's not even an American song.
fascinating.
Wait, but there is an American. Is there an American version?
Well, regardless of whether there's an American version, it originated in Germany. It looks like
It
right?
was brought to North America by immigrants. Okay.
Okay. Yep. That's wow. All right. So then the argument could be made, maybe, but here's the. I feel like it would still be thrown out. I feel like it wouldn't be thrown out immediately. Like I feel like there would actually be some heated debate over this, but I think it would eventually get thrown out.
Yeah, and that would be a major blow to his case.
I feel like this is the war cry of the the other faction of like the other political faction that's come up out of this. So you've got the people who believe that the cheese does not stand alone, who side with money bank lease. Then you've got the other people, who in reaction to this are angry, and this is their war cry: is the cheese stands alone.
Oh yeah, because the cheese stands alone means he has to pay for the
right.
cheese. Yeah. Right. So they sing this song.
Right. I think that's what has to happen here.
Maybe that's where the musical comes
in. Beautiful. Wait. Oh shoot! Brilliant. I wonder if he thought of that. I bet he didn't know. I bet he had not heard this.
I wonder if he. I feel like this is a pretty popular nursery rhyme. I've heard of this at some point. I think. Hi ho the dairy. We've all heard this at some point. I wonder if he remembers this. And
maybe.
That's what brought up. Because he asked specifically, does the cheese stand alone?
Yeah, he does quote it almost. But here's the thing: he's told this story to me like at least 5 times, and not once has the rhyme come up, which is why I'm wondering. I feel like the way he tells stories, like this would have come up, but maybe not. I mean, maybe he's just hiding things from me. That's cool.
He might be.
Son of a gun.
Can never tell.
You can never tell with him, dude. He's a sneaky son of a gun.
This is adopted into a lot of different languages: United States, Canada, Netherlands, Great Britain, Scotland, England.
Like 3 of the you just named a lot of countries that speak the same language there, Bucko.
Sweden, yeah, South Africa.
It's a little different, actually. South Africa, they largely speak English.
Well, sort of. They speak English, but also Afrikaans, Dutch.
Yes, this is true. You named 4 English-speaking countries, Liam, after you're like, this was adopted in different languages.
It's in Dutch, French, Swedish, and maybe Afrikaans.
You could probably translate it in any language, but at any rate,
yeah.
Okay, I think we have our story here.
I think we have to sing this song at some point because
Liam,
of the prompt.
If you want to, I won't stop you. I will not help you. I will have nothing to do with it. Let me pull up the rhyme again.
Well, the thing is, we don't really have a choice now, do we?
William, we have a choice. There's always a choice.
That's a choice.
That is that's a choice.
I think I know the melody. It's fairly simple.
She stands alone. Yeah. I'm glad that's real, though. I'm really... Okay. So who's our... Let's get a cast of characters going here. Who are our characters?
Money Bank Lease.
Money Bank Lease. Maybe he commonly goes by MB Lease. On all of his published works. He's MB Lease.
Published works. So he's a writer. He's an author.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
A professor.
Yeah, maybe he's like a pre-presidency Trump type character.
Huh?
Do you see what I mean?
So he's a businessman.
Maybe, yeah. That's the impression I got. But he's not old yet. Like he's still he's in his. I could see him in his 30s, his early 30s maybe. And he goes by MB Lease when he has to sign documents or maybe publish his book, The Art of the Meal.
So he's passionate about food.
Maybe he is.
That's why he starts this lawsuit.
Maybe this is an important issue.
He loves
to him.
his food.
Yeah.
This is a recurring theme I've noticed.
Yeah,
throughout most of the episodes.
Food is really important.
There's nothing more important than food.
Hey man, look, when you think about it, food is a centerpiece of society because society
that's right.
was created around, agriculture and people finding new ways to centralize food production. So when you think about it, really, food is just everything, man.
It really is.
So we're getting down to the important stuff here at ScriptNuggets. We're getting right into it. So you're welcome.
Young urban professional.
Now,
is he a businessman? What is his so he's a businessman?
Yeah, he's a businessman.
Businessman. man. Does he own a restaurant then? Is that what I'm picking up here, or is
Maybe
he just?
he owns. I could see
Is it
him
real
owning,
estate, or does he own
Maybe he owns like he wouldn't just own a restaurant. Like he would own this
a
guy's
chain?
even more than a chain. I'd say he owns like the companies that own restaurants. Like he's like on that
okay.
level.
All right.
Like he's in some dough. All right. So
What's the word? Conglomerations.
yeah, conglomerates. Yeah.
Conglomerates.
A
Owns
restaurant.
restaurant conglomerates.
Yeah.
Conglomerates. It's a departure from our everyman type stories.
Yeah,
in
this is
previous-
different. Yeah. Because how many everymans have we done? We've done like
The guy from went to Blue Robin. He was sort of an everyman.
he was a little bit definitely the number 2.
Oh yeah, he didn't even have,
guy
didn't
makes
have
a
a
deal with the
name.
devil.
So
Yeah.
and then the third
Number
one.
3,
Just,
arguably.
the guy who sneezed on
Number
his shoes.
4, also debatably. I feel like if we had gotten
Number
into it a bit
4,
more.
well, that's
Maybe
Old
not.
West.
It
Not
is. That's true. Well, I don't know if setting disqualifies, like how you relate to characters necessarily.
Yeah, in a sense, but
Yeah, but at any rate,
yeah.
we're definitely a departure from earlier forms of main characters here. So we've got Moneybank Lease. We've got to have. I feel like there's got to be like one guy who's like the representative for the argument that she stands alone. I feel like he's with corporate. I think he's
Yeah.
Wisney
So
corporate.
he's their lawyer, attorney.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking even a separate guy. I'm just thinking like, I don't know how to describe it. Some guy who's just like the champion for this cause that the cheese stands alone.
Is he like a legal professional? Is he?
Well, I'm suggesting that this particular character may not be a legal professional. He might just be the guy that brought it to his lawyers, right? Like maybe this is like the primary service rep that he had to go through after Carnivore Land. But this guy was like, he has some personal investment in what's going on clearly, so he sticks with this case all the way through the Supreme Court. That's kind of the sense I get. You know what I mean?
That's
So, like-
interesting. So does he work for Disney World?
Yeah,
Is that
I
what
think
I'm
he
gathering
does.
here?
I think he does. But I don't think he's their lawyer. I think they do. There is going to be a lawyer to represent them in court, but
Okay,
I think
yeah.
this guy's there. Maybe just to make an argument. And what should his name be?
This is always the most difficult part. The names.
Should we have them all just be like butcherings of Walt Disney? So maybe this is Fault Disney.
You mean every single character other than Moneybank?
Yeah,
Lease
that's
and
what
stuff?
that's exactly what I'm suggesting, Liam.
I feel like that might be going a little too far.
Be funny.
Or
Oh,
maybe
man.
Disney characters like Richard Mouse.
Shut up, Liam. Richard. How did you go from Mickey to Richard?
Okay, so I was thinking Mickey. How about Dickie, which is a nickname for Richard. It could be Ricky.
Upset, Liam. Yeah, let's go with Ricky.
Ricky House. Ricky
Klaus. Maybe he's like German.
Klaus is not really a surname though. I don't think.
Okay, I wouldn't know, to be honest with you.
I think Klaus is a first name. Like maybe someone could be named Klausman, but not Klaus. You know.
Oh, it's a given name and a surname.
Oh,
It's-
really?
It's both. Yeah.
So it could be Ricky Klaus.
Yeah, it could be Ricky Klaus. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Oh yeah, and that's what because he's German, he has that connection to the farmer in the dell.
Right. Calculated. We did that intentionally.
How about Ricky Klaus? I feel like he comes from a more working class background. He's not this successful businessman.
So do you think he's with Disney or not? I think he's
I
I think he's with them, but I think I don't think he's like he's
He's
not
with
in the
them.
upper echelons. Like it's a 9 to 5 job. He goes in, he deals with whiny
He makes
customers.
a little more
he
than
gets
minimum
out,
wage.
He drinks a little beer when he gets home, watches some TV, goes to bed. He's a normal guy,
Yeah.
living a normal life. So he's a custom
and he gets infuriated by this one
service
entitled rich guy who
rep.
thinks he doesn't have to pay for cheese.
Wisney.
Wisney. Important distinction.
And I'd say he's in his like late 40s.
Okay, so he's late 40s. Probably
Working
didn't
class.
go to college.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to get that detailed, but yeah. So he's that kind of a guy. He's got definitely given off that kind of a vibe. So that's his life. I think we should have at least one justice or judge.
Chief Justice. It has to be the Chief Justice, I feel like.
Yeah. But who?
Because there is a real Chief Justice, but I don't think we want to go down that route.
No, we don't want the actual Chief Justice. We want like Chief Justice and then some fake name that's like not a real person that ever existed.
It just has to sound like the sort of name a justice would have.
But should it be a Disney name butchering still? I would like that to be a
butchering
theme.
of Walt Disney. Or
No. I mean of Disney characters, like we did with Ricky Klaus, which is just brilliant. I have to say.
Well, there is from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Judge Frollo.
Is his title Judge?
I think he's a judge. I think maybe in the original story he was a cleric, but in the Disney
movie
film,
he's a judge.
He was a judge.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I'm not sure it's quite a reference that everyone will get though. So
yeah, that's going into obscurity. Well, kind of.
He's the main antagonist.
This is definitely one of my. It's definitely like I think that's honestly my favorite animated Disney film, but it's not. It's definitely not the most popular. It's really good. The animation is gorgeous, but
the only thing I've heard in criticism of it is it kind of has an uneven tone. Like there are some really dark parts, and then there are just the really goofy parts.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's true. That's accurate.
But I have seen some like the Hellfire song is just.
It's cool.
It's amazing.
Yep. So let's see who else. What other
Disney characters?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Winnie the Pooh is a Disney character apparently. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oswald the Lucky.
I don't remember this guy at all.
It looks like this guy died after 1940, kind of thing. Like
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is an anthropomorphic rabbit, an animated cartoon character created by Ub Iwerks. Who the hell was that? And Walt Disney for funny animal films distributed by Universal Studios in the 20s and 30s.
Oh yeah, he did die after 1940. That was accurate. I don't think there's a good way to butcher Oswald.
Yeah, because
that's a pretty out there kind of name.
Like no one really knows about him. There's Pluto. Snow White, Cinderella, Jiminy Cricket, King Louie, Clarabelle Cow, Max Goof.
Max Goof. That describes us on so many levels, I gotta say.
Maximum Goof.
Here, let me pop this Google with you here.
There are a lot of Disney characters, but not all.
There are at least 3.
There are at least 5, I would say.
What?
Yeah. Donald Duck.
Can we do something with that?
Ronald.
What ends with that?
Some words end with that.
Yes, Liam. Thank you. We want something that isn't a word, but an actual name.
Ronald Cluck.
Probably none of these are actual names. They don't have to be, though. Oh, Tuck.
Ronald Tuck. Chief. Okay, how does this sound?
Chief Justice Ronald Tuck. I like that, actually.
It's kind of goofy, but whatever.
Liam, writing a script about whether cheese stands alone. It can be goofy if we want it to, Liam. Okay? It's gonna be. We're going with that. We're going for
sorry.
Ronald Tuck.
Ronald Tuck.
Or sorry.
Chief Justice.
Ronald Tuck. This guy's like definitely like early 70s, yeah.
He's pretty old.
He's getting on in years. We need an initial customer service rep.
Hang on a second. Is Chief Justice Ronald Tuck a strict constructionist or a loose constructionist?
Maybe he's the swing vote, Liam. Maybe that's why he's the Chief Justice.
Maybe he kind of goes either way.
Okay, let's argue this. Let's have this debate. Is cheese standing alone a loose constructionist argument or a strict constructionist argument?
I could never predicted that someday in my life I would be having this conversation.
Well, Liam.
Okay, so the Constitution. What's in the Constitution? Like the Bill of Rights, right?
Yeah.
Freedom of speech.
I think let's think about this the other way around. What does the cheese standing alone pertain to? It pertains to a little bit to economics.
Economics. Does it pertain to a corporation having the freedom to charge extra for the cheese, though?
Yeah, I suppose it does.
It's kind of difficult because I'm not sure it corresponds to any one of the amendments.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I mean, well, that happens in real Supreme Court cases, court cases in general, where it's like not like specifically pertaining to one thing, but
Okay, so the Bill of Rights, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, right to bear arms.
Right, it's definitely right to bear arms, Liam.
They weren't referring to muskets or guns. They were referring to cheese.
Shoot.
Heard it here first, folks. What am I doing with my life?
What if cheese is a weapon, dude? What if cheese, and I mean that not in a literal sense. I mean that.
What the hell are you talking about?
When you think about cheese, okay, cheese is a weapon, because it's so good, man. For one thing. Also, if you throw it into someone's eyes, it'll probably blind them. Okay, do you know what I mean? And then never mind. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving on.
I think that's just a step too much, even for the story we're telling.
Grasping for straws, man. I think maybe that's an argument they try to make and that gets struck down.
It gets struck down easily.
Yeah, but anyway, what else is in the Bill of Rights? What
freedom of the press.
Does it have anything to do with freedom of the press, Liam?
Probably not.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
We're Googling the Bill of Rights. About the cheese standing alone. Okay.
This is what American education does to you. Forces you to look it up on Google. Congress should make no law respecting establishment of religion. It doesn't have to do with religion. Does it have to do with free speech?
Maybe it does have to do with religion. Maybe there's a cheese religion in this world.
Okay, let's try and find the most reasonable one first before we make things up.
Oh, man.
Or of the press, or the right of people to peacefully assemble. And to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Wait, where's that? Which amendment?
First Amendment. Last part.
No. The right peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Yes.
Is this a grievance then?
This is a grievance.
Because he has to pay for the cheese, so he's petitioning the government.
Yeah. Here's an argument for you. Do the cheese guys have the right to deny? I mean, is that a right? Their right as a business to do that, to just not make any claims on charges and then bada bing bada boom charge, right? I think strictly speaking they do, because the idea is if that's the kind of thing they do, you take your business elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You can't do that in Disney World. They are the business. Or sorry, Wisney World. They are the only business, right? Everyone there is pretty much going to be owned and operated by Walt Disney Incorporated.
Right. But someone could make the argument that you could take it to another totally different business not owned by Disney.
Walt Disney. Yeah.
Is there this is difficult. This is getting into politics now.
Yeah. I feel like here's the thing. I think from a strictly law perspective, the cheese stands alone.
It probably does.
But what if Moneybank Lease just makes such an impassioned plea to the court that they're
so it's not even about the Constitution, per
right.
se.
What
It's
if he wins 9-0? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if he just rallies the troops? What if he makes this speech and it moves everyone in the room, and they're like, the cheese does not stand alone. We will stand with the cheese.
Everyone stands up, standing ovation, and claps.
Yeah, it's like that. So, this it would have been a good one for a musical, because like then we could have done a parody of what's that song from Les Mis? Can you hear the people sing? Because it's about cheese. Oh, that would be good. But yeah.
So it's a constitutional argument versus just a passion.
I think and I think
okay.
it sort of, I think it's a ridiculous outcome, but we're not necessarily doubling down on absurdity throughout this piece. I mean, it's an absurd premise, but it's not. The flow of things isn't entirely absurd in the same way as, say, episode 1. Right. So I think that's the direction to go. Fun fact: we've been recording for 40 minutes and we haven't started the script yet. So
shoot. This is the sort of script that requires
requires a lot of thinking. Like this, it's very important. Excuse me. So
are there any other characters like?
Yeah. So we need a level 1 customer service rep that's just in Carnivore World or Carnivore Land, or actually, which is it? To be specific, Carnivore Land.
Carnivore Land, important.
Customer service rep at Carnivore Land. Okay. So you have that rep. Once he does that, he goes through corporate. He's going to be dealing with Ricky Klaus. Ricky Klaus. I think that's how I pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, it rhymes with mouse.
Yeah. I feel like their lawyers might need to actually. Well, here's the thing: we could use the benefit of absurdism a little bit and make it so that they make their own arguments, like they represent themselves in the court.
I don't need an attorney.
I feel like it would be funny. Yeah, I feel like we should do that.
So
no
it's
attorneys.
Ricky Klaus versus Moneybank Lease.
It's. I think the court case should be called Moneybank Lease versus Walt Disney Incorporated. I think that would be the.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ricky Klaus defends Disney Incorporated. He makes the argument that the cheese does stand alone.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I think scene 1, he deals with the service rep in Carnivore Land. Scene 2, he goes to corporate. Scene 3, fast forward Supreme Court. I think that's what we're dealing with here.
Okay. Yeah. Scene 1, just got off the ride, goes to get a pretzel. The cheese, he doesn't get the cheese. He has to pay for the cheese.
Right.
And then he goes to the customer service rep. Is that the same scene? Or is that a separate scene?
Is which one separate?
The scene in which he gets the pretzel with the cheese but has to pay for it, and when he goes to the customer service rep.
That's all scene 1, I think.
Okay. And then scene 2 is when he goes to Ricky Klaus.
Goes to corporate, yep.
And then
scene 3
is the Supreme Court.
Fast forward Supreme Court. Liam.
This is legit.
Yes. So
it's legitimate.
Too legitimate to quit him.
Scene 1. This is at Disney World. Stop breathing into your mic.
Liam, I'm literally writing scene 1 on the page down here.
Oh, scene 2. That's what I meant to write.
Do you want to write it below scene 1? Have you thought about that?
That might make a little sense. Wow, you haven't written much.
Oh, wow. Okay, Liam. I'm sorry I've been busy.
Busy doing what?
I don't know.
You have no excuses.
Yeah, that's true.
Lies.
I'm busy doing my hair.
What?
Can't you see I'm busy tying my hair back in a ponytail? All right.
I'm judging you silently.
Okay, so I have long hair, so I'm just not cool, huh? Is that how it is? All right, dude. All right, okay.
I didn't say that. But
all right, dude. Okay. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, so scene 2 is at the Disney World customer service headquarters.
That's correct.
And as I understand it, Ricky Klaus is the head of customer service.
Yes. I don't think at any point he actually has to go over to their headquarters because I think there's no need for that. Like
So
that
he just
could be done
stays
remotely.
at the Florida.
Yeah.
Florida
Yeah. But they're communicating with headquarters maybe. Yeah, I think. I mean, you're starting to do this too, but I think the way Moneybank Lease talks, he's pretty highbrow. Like he's the way he talks is very much like he's gonna, take his time to speak, and he's gonna speak very precisely and very I don't know what the word for it is. But a simple question, yes. It's very dignified in the way he talks.
Over at Carnivore World. Or is it Land?
Land, Liam, it's land.
Sorry.
That was really low. Oh, and there's also got to be another side character. It's got to be like
the pretzel man.
Yeah.
Pretzel's the lifeblood of our society.
Am I wrong, Liam? Am I wrong? Have you ever had a pretzel?
Pretzels are delicious. What if he says something like, I ordered a pretzel au fromage?
What does that mean?
It means with cheese in French.
Oh, that's right. You take French. Yes, Liam. Au fromage.
Of course, he doesn't know what that means.
Oui, oui.
Pretzel with cheese, as the common folk put it. Oh, shoot. I actually don't like this guy.
It's just cost a ridiculous amount of money. Like the pretzel costs the pretzel with the cheese cost him $20.
$20.
And then in exclamation he says Gadzooks. 20 bones.
20 bones.
A Jackson, if you will.
To paying one Jackson.
One Jackson.
One Jackson.
A single Jackson.
Paying a single Jackson.
Or you could say a single bell with the form of our great president, Andrew Jackson, emblazoned upon it.
A single former president, Andrew Jackson.
Well, I got you. A single note, the image of emblazoned upon it. There we go.
This is pretty fun to write.
Yeah, I guess. I'm playing it, by the way.
I might add one former Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton. One former Secretary of the Hamilton for the pretzel. Once. And one former President Lincoln for the pretzel. And another former President Lincoln and for the cheese.
I'm not going to
alone.
argue with you, Liam. That's fair. That's valid. That's fair.
What the hell are you talking about? It's going to be his response. Okay, he's going to say, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about that? Okay, what's a ride at Disney World? What's a popular ride there?
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Okay, how am I going? Okay. Galaxy Valley. I'm trying to just. Okay, so Lise wants a full refund and
Valley
apology.
and mountain aren't the same thing, Liam.
I know, but they are similar.
Liam, valleys go down. and mountains go up.
They're related.
They're like pretty much the opposite thing.
Yeah, but it's similar to mountain. It's similar enough that never mind.
You could have said Galaxy Hill, and that would have been
Okay, Galaxy Hill.
it better be Galaxy Hill.
That makes you happy, okay?
It does. Oh my god. You son of gun guy. Liam, look. Okay, you do this every time. Between lines, if you press enter a second time, it'll look a lot nicer. Okay?
Okay. Should we go full Shakespearean and say, "You have done me a great disservice, villain"?
Thou villain, yes.
As sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, I shall have my revenge.
No, you have to like add more things. Like,
As
as surely as the sun will rise tomorrow, and the moon will rise in the evening, and the flowers will bloom in the spring. Like, just do like a bunch of just things like that. And, like,
That dew will fall upon the grass.
that's funny. Yeah, do it. Keep doing it.
I'm gonna just continue this for a while.
Please, yeah, make it a monologue, dude. It's
That dew will fall upon the grass that... Okay, there's gotta be more to this. As the sun revolves around Earth.
wait, Liam, hold on a second.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, but maybe you should keep it in there. That'll be funny because that's one thing that isn't. Right.
As surely.
Oh man, we're getting into it.
I shall have my... No, it has to be stronger. It has to be... Justice shall prevail. I shall have my refund, and only then will justice prevail. And then Ricky Essig gives total nonchalant response to it.
Yes. He's got to be
Unless he
just like
responds with his
super
own monologue.
confused,
No,
just
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Have a nice day.
Okay. Scene 3.
Wait, actually, should he be more passionate about? Because I feel
Yeah,
like
because he's gonna become the guy who's like the guy who does the stuff.
he's gonna respond with his own monologue,
Yeah.
except not Shakespearean at all. Just
No.
more like, I know your type. He should probably introduce himself to the. He should probably say, "My name is Mr. Lease. My name is Mr. Whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lease. The cheese does stand alone."
Confirmed.
This is great.
Okay, so T is for Tuck. Ricky Klaus and Ronald Tuck. Ronald Tuck. What are we, Liam? What have we become?
The Supreme Court will hear the case of
MB Lease versus
B. Lease
the Dalt Wisney
versus the
Corporation.
Dalt Wisney Incorporated.
Yeah.
Should they mention the Supreme Court in the previous scene, or should it just go immediately to the Supreme Court?
No, it should go immediately to the Supreme Court.
I love this. Love this one.
Only fitting that it go to the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
We just have to read this like really exaggerated.
Liam, if there's anyone who's good at being enthusiastic, it's me.
I get it. It's a joke.
It's a joke. Moving on.
He should mention his name in the previous scene. As should
Yes,
Mr. Lease. Mr. Klaus, you may make your opening. You may make your opening argument. Okay, so how should this go? So maybe they make their opening statements, and then they sort of have this clash.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
And
so.
then they make closing statements.
Yeah,
and then the
something
verdict
like
comes
that.
out.
Something to that effect. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be how it actually works.
Yeah.
No, does he have to do that thing where he says, like, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? No, it's not
No,
quite.
it's not really applicable
Yeah,
because it's arguments. Yeah, it's not a felony hearing. It's a, yeah. There's not a guilty party to be had. It's a constitutional decision. Here's what I think happens. Ricky, where are you typing?
I'm
in scene 2.
editing scene 2.
I think here's what you do here. I think he just quotes the song.
Quotes the song in his opening statement.
Yes.
He sings part of it.
Yeah. A portion. The last 3 stanzas.
Okay.
What's the problem, William?
He just launches right into it.
Yeah.
And then
except
maybe
here's the
explains
thing.
it afterwards.
Except the way he says it is like very slow, very pointed, like
and
accusatory.
the cat takes the mouse. The cat takes
Exactly,
the mouse.
exactly.
Hi-ho.
Exactly. Okay. Can you hear the people singing the songs of Angry Cheese?
I have a simple rebuttal. Do you hear the people sing?
Let me look up the lyrics for this.
I think I know the lyrics.
Why would you know the lyrics, Liam?
Why wouldn't I?
You and your French.
Songs of angry. I do know the lyrics in French.
Is the music of people who will not
Is the
be
music of
cheeseless
the
again?
people
I don't know, like
who
what.
will not- I don't know. I don't know if this really works.
Yeah, that's tough. We'd need more time to actually think of something good for that.
Yeah, but what is he gonna say though? It has to be. This is difficult.
Since the dawn of time.
What better way to begin a speech? Should we say it's one of the building blocks of our society?
Yes.
It is among the building blocks of our modern society, or just society?
Society.
Or society. Can you spell?
A Prussian.
One.
The ones are intentional.
Obviously, yeah.
He's very excited.
Okay, are they cross-examining them now, or how does this work?
We don't have to do actual proceedings, Liam.
Yeah, but they have to do something in between opening and closing statements, right? You may now.
Well, I think.
How about rebuttals?
I think rebuttals, and I think sometimes the justices ask questions.
Oh wait, should the justice introduce himself?
Yeah, wouldn't hurt.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Yeah, he should because of the name.
Yeah, I got him.
What's his? I forget his name. What is it? No, it's Ronald. No, it's not Ronald. Oh, he's Ronald.
It's Ronald Tuck. Yeah.
Is it Ronald Tuck?
Yeah.
But doesn't he also have a? Oh yeah. Okay, they both have names that begin with R, but one is Ronald, the other one's Ricky. Justice Ronald Tuck.
Yeah, he's T because it's Tuck. And the other one's R for Ricky. So just live with it, Liam.
Okay, should he reference the Constitution or not?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Where in the Bill of Rights
That's a good way to start something.
does it say you are entitled? Thank you. Okay, now he's gonna call BS on that.
On what?
That nursery rhyme.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he's going to make that argument against
That nursery rhyme, of which you quoted as though it were canon law. In actuality, originated in Germany. Maybe gasps after that.
Yeah, right.
And then, okay, so what happens now? They've asked their questions. Does the justice ask them questions now?
Yeah, he could.
What kind of questions would a justice ask?
Well, they may not have any too, right? So maybe he should ask Klaus about the menu.
Okay, yeah, it's a technical question. Okay, what's Klaus gonna say here? His closing statement. His argument about the nursery rhyme has failed, so he's gonna go for something else.
You could say it's the right of the business to do what they please with their prices, and if customers don't like it, then they can take their business elsewhere.
Okay. This is the crowd. This brings down the courtroom. He has to say something powerful.
As surely as the...
Oh, it has to be different, though. It has to begin with, like, this really general statement, like...
When I was a boy.
When I was a young boy.
A wee lad.
Have they already decided?
Sure, yeah. It'd be really funny. Have ruled in favor of MB Elise.
Have ruled unanimously.
Yeah.
In favor of MB.
Have ruled animously.
Okay. That's not how you spell that.
Yeah, you have to add the un.
Summarize the majority and unanimous. Loud cheers. And then I think that's all we need.
Yes.
This is
Are we ready to
amazing.
read this?
I think we are.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Now-
playing Money Bank Leaf.
Okay, what you have to do is you have to go really over the top.
Liam, trust me. So how do you pronounce that word? The French word for cheese?
Fromage.
Full. How do you make that R sound? Because it's not like a hard R, right? It's like
No, it's like the
full. Fromage. Full. I didn't take French.
Like sort of the back of the throat.
All right. Fromage.
Fromage.
Okay.
Fromage.
I'll try
just
that.
sort of exaggerate it
Yeah.
too.
All right. Are we ready? All right.
Yep, we are ready. Okay.
Cast of characters. The Pretzel Man. I think I just called M. M is the Pretzel Man.
Okay.
This person didn't exist.
That didn't happen. It was unnecessary.
That's fine. Yep. So, cast of characters. Moneybank Lease, commonly called MB Lease. Young urban professional businessman, owns restaurant conglomerates, probably mid-30s. Ricky Klaus, customer service rep at Wisney Corporation, late 40s, working class man. Chief Justice Ronald Tuck, early 70s, and the Pretzel Man. I will play Moneybank Lease. Liam will play everyone else.
Yep.
Scene 1. Lease gets off a ride. I must say, Carnivore Land here at Adult Wisney World is much more enjoyable than I expected. Let's see what they have to offer in the way of refreshments, shall we? Ah, pretzels. The lifeblood of our society. What are your pretzel options, my good sir?
Bacon-covered pretzels and sausage-link pretzels.
Oh, how delightful. I'll have the bacon-covered pretzel with cheese, if you please.
That'll be $20.
Gadzooks! What an absurd cost.
Our prices are listed above.
It says a pretzel is only $15.
You added cheese.
It says ask for cheese or mustard, implying there is no additional cost.
Sign's wrong, I guess.
Does the cheese stand alone?
Excuse me?
Does the cheese stand alone?
I don't follow.
Can I speak to your manager?
You're gonna have to go to customer services for that.
Very well. I shall inform your superiors of your vast ignorance and uselessness.
Scene 2. Hello, my name is Ricky Klaus, customer service representative. How may I help you?
Yes, my name is MB Lease. I have a simple question for you. Does the cheese stand alone?
What?
I have experienced a grievance over at Carnivore Land.
Okay.
I ordered a pretzel au fromage.
Our fromage?
A pretzel with cheese, as the common folk put it. As I was saying, I ordered a pretzel, but the fellow at the stand coerced me into paying a single banknote with the image of former President Andrew Jackson emblazoned upon it. I might add one former Secretary of the Treasury, Hamilton, and one former President Lincoln for the pretzel, and another former President Lincoln for the cheese alone.
What the hell are you talking about?
They were not supposed to charge me for the cheese. The cheese is not supposed to stand alone.
What do you want me to do about that?
A full refund, obviously. An apology, I think, would also suffice, and perhaps a free ride upon Galaxy Hill.
No can do.
I beg your pardon?
It's Disney World policy that the cheese does stand alone.
You have done me a great disservice, villain. As surely as the sun will rise tomorrow, that dew will fall upon the grass, the birds shall migrate to the south during the winter months. As surely as the flowers shall bloom in the spring, thrive in the summer, and wither in the fall. As surely as patties consume potatoes, the sun revolves around the earth. I, too, shall have my refund, and only then will justice prevail.
I know your type. You rich yuppies think the entire world revolves around you. You think that you, living in your ivory towers, can chuck stones at the small folks just trying to get by. You actually think that your minor inconveniences are a matter of justice. I despise you and everything that you stand for. And yes, Mr. Lease, the cheese does stand alone.
Scene 3.
The Supreme Court will hear the case of M.B. Lease versus Dalt Visney Incorporated. Representing M.B. Lease is none other than Mr. Lease himself. Representing Dalt Visney Incorporated is Service Representative Ricky Klaus. Mr. Klaus, you may make your opening statement. And the cat takes the mouse. The cat takes the mouse. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The cat takes the mouse. And the mouse takes the cheese. The mouse takes the cheese. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The mouse takes the cheese. And the cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The cheese stands alone. This popular folk tune illustrates an important point. M.B. Lease here does not have a right to free cheese included with a pretzel. Thank you. Mr. Lease, it is your turn to make your opening statement. You may begin.
Since the dawn of time, our ancestors have relied on cheese as a valuable culinary resource. Cheese is a noble food. It is among the building blocks of our society. The cheese presented to me by the pumpkins and simpletons at Dalt Disney World was pedestrian at best. To charge the sum equated to a banknote with the image of our great President Abraham Lincoln emblazoned upon it is, in my mind, and in the mind of all true patriots, blasphemy, treason. I will not stand for this. Does the cheese stand alone? Nay, I say. Let us strike down this vile and wretched corporation that seeks to profit off of our oppression.
Thank you for your opening statements. You may now engage in rebuttals of each other's opening statements. As such, Mr. Klaus may proceed first. Thank you, Chief Justice Ronald Tuck. I just have one question. Where in the Constitution does it say you are entitled to cheese?
In Amendment the First, the very last line specifically grants citizens of this great republic the right to, and I quote, petition the government for a redress of grievances. To charge one Abraham Lincoln for horribly mediocre cheese is a grievance, is it not?
Now it is Mr. Lease's turn to ask a question of Mr. Klaus.
Thank you. That nursery rhyme of which you quoted as though it were canon law in actuality originated in Germany. Therefore, it is almost completely and totally meaningless when applied to law in the United States of America. Perhaps Mr. Klaus is biased in favor of his German heritage.
Objection! Overruled. The Farmer in the Dell is indeed a German nursery rhyme. Seeing as we are not living in Germany, it does not apply here. Now, I have some questions for both of the plaintiffs. Mr. Klaus, might I inquire, is cheese listed on the menu at the pretzel stands in Dalt Wisney World. Dalt Wisney World, excuse me. Well, Chief Justice, sir, yes it is. Is it listed under a separate price? Well, no, I don't believe so, but thank you, Mr. Klaus. Now, Mr. Leese, were you aware of the price of the cheese?
Chief Justice, I was not.
Thank you for your responses. You will now make your closing statements. Mr. Klaus, you may begin. Thank you. Dalt Wisney has the right to charge whatever price they wish for any condiments they wish. If a customer does not like it, they can take their business elsewhere. Mr. Leese, being a wealthy man, should know that everything has a price in this world, including the cheese, which stands alone. Thank you. Now you may give your closing statement, Mr. Leese.
When I was a young chap, my father impressed upon me the importance of what the French call fromage. I ask of you, if you do not possess cheese, then what have we have left? If we cannot follow the advice of our dear fathers, then what can we follow? Like a lighthouse in the midst of a dark storm, so our fathers show us the way by which we must live in this horrid world in which vile entities such as Dalt Wisney Incorporated are allowed to enslave the populace with their overpriced cheese. Brothers and sisters, we will not stand for this tyranny any longer. Stand with me. Together we will create a utopia in which cheese is free for all mankind, as our fathers intended and their fathers before them. Will you join me? Does the cheese stand alone?
No!
Then let us stand with the cheese, never leaving its side.
Order! Order! Order in the court. I and the other 8 Supreme Court justices have ruled unanimously in favor of M.B. Leese. To summarize the majority and unanimous opinion, the cheese does not stand alone. Woo! Yeah!
Wow. All right. This is our best script that we've ever
quality
written.
piece of literature.
This is the best thing I've ever written in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So what would you change, Liam? What would you do differently?
Maybe expand more on Ronald. No, not Ronald. Ricky.
I agree.
Ricky Klaus.
Yep, I agree with that.
It made me need some more backstory there. How did he come to work at Dalt Wisney? What does I keep saying? Dalt Wisney. Dalt Wisney.
Wisney, yeah, it's not German. Yeah.
It's not German, unlike Ricky Klaus. Does he have an experience with rich people in which he decides he hates them? And why does he decide that Dalt Wisney Corporation represents the working people when they're a corporation?
It's a little ironic. Yeah. I would maybe make the pacing of the first 2 scenes longer, because the third scene's really long and the first scenes are pretty short. Maybe add a bit of intermediate between Klaus and the Supreme Court, because the idea is like this is going to be like this case isn't just some random Supreme Court case. Like this has like some significant national impact.
Oh yeah, show like the view of citizens who start to support
Right.
MB Lease, and then people who oppose it too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Divide society.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this was a really good
brilliant.
script. Brilliant, you could say that. I'm glad that we decided to take it 5 steps too far.
Yeah. It was fun.
Unlike
to read.
in the earlier scripts where we didn't take it far enough.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
We doubled down on the absurdity, which was good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with all that.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add?
I think the jury's still out whether the cheese stands alone.
Mm.
But as far as the script goes, it does not.
It's not stand alone. Amen. Well, we'll be signing out then. Thank you for watching some ScriptNuggets. Peace out.